Hey, howdy, and welcome all to the Big and Bright Podcast. My name is Nick. This here next to me is James.
Howdy.
How you doing, man? Hanging
Better
in
than
there?
you.
Better than me?
Always.
That is true. That is very true.
When you look this good, I'm always doing better than you.
James is always doing great, right? He lives in a delusional world where he looks better than I do. But we all know that's not true. We just let him live in his delusion.
I'm going to tell my mom on you.
Speaking of delusions, turns out we might have the wrong people voted for in the primaries.
Just in certain counties.
Yeah, we might be delusional about where the primary votes came in. That was a really bad transition. That transition really. I'm not gonna lie. Usually most of what I say is pure gold. That was kind of garbage.
Now it's on recording. So
that being said, Harris County lost, what was it, 10,000 votes?
10,000 votes
in the last primary.
Hey, but at least it was in the right proportion because around 6,000 Democrat votes and 4,000 Republicans. So I mean, it's fine.
Really? That's the proportion?
Yeah, I don't.
6-4.
6-4
in Harris County.
In Harris, yeah.
Dude, I would imagine it'd been like 7,000 to 2,000 or something like that.
No, it was really weird. I was like, wow. Well, at least the right side, got less votes.
The point is, 6,000 Republican or 6,000 Democrat votes, 4,000 Republican votes got lost because
that's only 10,000. So there's another 1,000 somewhere in there.
Because we stink.
No.
Harris County stinks.
The commissioner there
at conducting
stinks.
elections. Yeah, the commissioner Isabel Longoria was just like, I can't even explain how many times she gaffed on this. This is like, this is an election dumpster fire, man.
Yeah, even what was the judge? Hidalgo. She's from Harris County. Mm-hmm. She even tried to spin a little bit, and she goes, "Yeah, this wasn't because of SB1."
Democrat judge.
Yeah, they're trying to blame it on SB1, which is the new voting law that we put in place in the last session of Rama.
Yeah,
and then she ended up saying, like, yeah, this wasn't because of unforeseen stuff. And I was like, it's so weird.
And
you suck at your job.
They desperately want it to be SB1.
Oh, yeah.
They want it to be SB1 so
They were trying to just drum that up.
Like, so in one of the articles that we featured, by the way, all the links for these articles will be in the description. By the way, like and subscribe our podcast. We've got to, put that on a script somewhere. That we gotta say that.
Yeah.
We never get that right.
We'll forget if to read it. That's all that will happen.
Like and subscribe to our podcast. Leave us a comment. It really helps us out. There's a bell you're supposed to ding.
I don't know what that
means. But, do it. That'd be really helpful. You'd be awesome.
In 2020, they spent, I'm looking at this article from Texas Monthly, $54 million.
Oh, Harris County did?
Harris County.
Oh, we're not talking about YouTube and the bell anymore?
No.
Okay,
I kind of moved on because I know what the bell means, so I was going to move on to stuff I actually know about.
Yeah, $54 million.
What's the biggest? It's one of the biggest counties, so it makes
hiring
sense.
These new, so they hired this new commissioner.
Yeah,
I don't know. Actually,
bought new machines.
Yeah,
sucked.
The Verity Duos machines, which were terrible, because the Verity Duos you actually have to verify the vote written and electronic.
And Democrats don't like that.
So there's an electronic thing you have to ding, and then you have to feed the paper into the machine.
Some were damaged because people didn't wait.
Yeah.
Because we had some 2-pagers, and it was like, wait until it says complete, and then put your second page. It's not that hard. You want 2 seconds?
Yeah. People are too patient, man. I mean, that's the whole thing about mail-in voting. It's like, you mean I have to go to my car and drive to a voting place?
I have to try?
Yeah. You do.
That.
Turns out you do. You can't have drive-through voting, although we tried that. Can't have mail-in voting, although we tried. Actually, you can have mail-in voting still. The point is,
a little tougher.
They desperately wanted this to be SB1. We read a lot of these articles. You got the article from Texas Monthly.
Yeah.
So the article about this in Texas Monthly has a full paragraph before it even gets to the story, which is the botched election.
Yeah.
Has a full paragraph about how SB1 is a terrible piece of legislation, which is more aimed at voter suppression than it is at election integrity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and then Republicans said Republicans benefited from the botched election in order to pivot from this fact.
Yeah.
That's what Texas Monthly said.
But then there was other parts of the article. It's like, wow, that's actually kind of written a little fair. They have all right, here's their point. Here's the Republicans' point. I was like, okay, so you're gonna be fair in certain parts, but it's like you're just gonna hide it a little bit.
Yeah, you got to get through the whole first paragraph about how SB1's terrible before you can actually get to the story.
Right.
That being said,
because it was funny is that they actually then started trashing this person's Isabel Longoria, by the way. Started trashing it. At the time, Longoria was 32-year-old failed city council candidate and a progressive activist whose only election experience was serving 6 months as a voting rights advisor to the county clerk, and they chose her.
Why is it
for the whole county of Harris County?
It really seems like all democratically elected people. I'm going to finish my sentence even though I know I'm wrong. All democratically, elected or appointed people seem to lack experience, right? And of course, I'm thinking about people who are diversity hires, but that's actually not true. As a matter of fact, the last two presidents that we had, Donald Trump had 0 experience in politics, and Joe Biden has 5,000 years of experience, right? So that's not necessarily
that's the whole benefit of the American system is that you don't have to be a lead and then an assistant manager and then a man. It doesn't work that way. That's communism. That's not how it works. This way, you can be whatever.
I think what I'm going at here is that two people that are dominantly on the left. Your ideology matters more than your experience, and I just don't see that being the case.
Well, I picked her because she's an activist. So yeah,
for sure, 100%
and she bungled it. But don't worry, she's resigning effective July 1, so the election's safe.
July 1.
Yeah, July 1.
Why July 1? Why not immediately?
She didn't offer that part.
Oh, she didn't?
No.
I suspect you're going to offer that part. Are you going to offer that part?
I think it's kind of curious. Because, as you recall in our last episode, we said some people did not get over 50%. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. There'd be runoffs.
Oh, you know what that runoff is?
I'm guessing it ends July 1.
Oh, May 24th.
Oh, okay.
So, if you bungled one...
So after the runoffs...
But don't worry, the runoff is going to be totally legit. I've learned from my mistakes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
The one election you had, you blew,
and
you're going to try again. Hopefully,
honestly, it's
going to be in the Democrats' favor this time.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind, right? I wouldn't mind if she botched another election because in Harris County, let's be real, right? In Harris County, you generally know.
That's MAGA country, baby.
You generally know where the votes go in Harris
country.
County. And so
like in Chicago, as we learned.
As we learned.
With
old Juicy Smouillet.
Yeah.
Good gracious.
Have a fun 150 days in jail for lying to the cops and lying to everybody and having Kamala Harris tweet in your favor.
Yeah. By the way, not suicidal.
Not suicidal. Yeah, that's good.
So there's a message.
Just like this what was it? The funny joke. Just like this ornament, as in Jeffrey Epstein, it did not hang itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Is I think he was speaking directly to Hillary Clinton there.
Yeah.
But it's. That I mean, I know that's a national topic, but good grief.
Sorry, that was my tangent.
Good grief. Anyway,
that was my tangent. I'll own that one.
It's fine. You can own that, but it's yeah. Gosh, is there anything more to say about that? It's just
no,
this guy's a
funny.
Joke. This guy's a clown.
Screaming. His family's at least behind him, which is good. It's hey, at least your family's in your corner. That's always a nice thing.
And sure, but he's absolute evidence to me that supply for racism is not enough for the demand. Right?
Yeah.
There's not enough racism to go around. You got to start making racism up. That being said, shifting back to Texas. Yeah,
that's fair.
So they lost 10,000 votes. That's just because
it was 11,000 change, but for some reason they only had the breakdown for 10,000. I was all right, so what was the other 1,000?
So that's all bad voting machines?
That was screw ups. That was not counting.
It also said that they counted until 3 a.m.
Yeah, and then someone almost had a near heart attack. It was Longoria described as a near heart attack.
Yeah,
I was like, really? From doing your job that one day? Mm-hmm. That's super tough, man.
Again,
I think there's people that work in healthcare that probably have a lot harder job than just saying 1, 2, 3.
It's not quite that simple. They actually have to verify. This thing.
They have to go to a computer and
verify
say
the electronic
computer.
with this a manual verification.
Control
process.
F. Republicans delete. I mean, just move file. To dump file.
Well, they were understaffed. Well, it's probably because
you're in Harris County.
Yeah.
How are you understaffed?
Yeah,
you're in Harris freaking County.
Because a lot of people in Harris County are still in their homes wearing masks. That's probably not true anymore. But the reality is that they say, well, we're understaffed. It's going late. You spent $54 million. You're understaffed.
Well, there's a person I actually know, and this person's running for a clerkship. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact, just for her clerkship, small position compared to this position right here.
Yeah, she
had about 10 people just doing poll things.
Yeah,
on the day, hey, vote for so and so, and it's wow, like that.
Yeah.
Was it that hard? Hey, we need some extras. Because here's how they easily get for to work voting centers. Because I've actually been offered to, and I had some complications where I never could. You get around $150 to $200 for that day, and it's tax-free because the government's paying it.
Yeah.
I can do that if I have nothing else to do.
Well, the poll workers had poor training or inexperienced poll workers. And I'm like, I mean, how I'm sorry. And
do you have an ID?
I've never been
Give
a
me
poll worker
ID.
before. I've never been a poll worker before, but I've gone to vote.
They're chit-chatting most of the time.
I mean, really, it seems like you're just like verifying people's identification. Okay.
This is John. Hello, John.
Making sure that the person that filled the ballot out is the person that puts it in the machine. Okay, right? You probably have to ask someone if they want an English or a Spanish vote. By the way,
still weird.
Side tangent, totally took a Spanish ballot one time. Just to mess.
Is it even different?
Just to mess with it. It's in Spanish.
Is that really a language?
Yes, it's a language. Anyway, point is, I walked up and this lady looks at me and goes, "You want English or Spanish?" And that's how I'm not making fun of her. That's how she said it. And
You're in my neck of the woods.
I looked at her, right? This sour cream complexion looked at her and said, "Spanish, please." And she did a double take. I just wanted to be there when they tallied that because I'm pretty sure I voted full Republican ticket on that particular ballot. Like, Spanish ballot, all right.
Hispanic voters.
Yeah, Hispanic voter. We'll put whoa, hold on, yeah.
Look at this guy. Well, to be fair, Hispanic voters has actually gone up in Texas quite a bit since 2019.
Hispanic voters for Republicans have gone up everywhere.
Yeah, because Democrats are not offering a lot.
That's true.
We believe in you. No, you don't. Look at our town.
But Harris County's terrible, which we should say, if we could Wile E. Coyote carve that out of Texas and just...
Well, at least awesome. Travis County didn't have any. It's not looking.
That is
either.
Also not true. Travis County has poll places that are not ADA compliant.
Yeah.
So they gotta shut everything down.
Yeah, they gotta either put temporary ramps or railing and stuff, or just find a whole new location, 50 locations in all Travis County. And I'm like, aren't y'all the bluest? How do y'all not have this? You're literally the county of our capital. How is that not already just if you're going to build anything, it's got to have 18 different compliances it has to go with. All right, fine. But it's stupid. I know, but it's in our literal capital county. We have to.
Travis County. So Travis County is Austin. Harris County is San Antonio.
Nope.
Where's Harris County? It's Houston.
That's Houston.
That's Houston. Yeah. That's
H-Town.
Yeah, that's why it's so populous because there's so many people there.
Yeah. Well, also, people that been crossing the border have been, just airplaned in there overnight. No one's really worrying about that either.
That's true.
It's so weird.
And they're
Huh.
We have people from Houston that watch this show, so I have to watch what I say. But
because one of them employs you.
That's true. My boss watches.
Can't fire me.
And
you know who you are.
And he's from Houston. So I'm going to say that people from Houston
are wonderful,
wonderful Texans.
Yeah.
We admire them greatly.
I should put up the text you sent me about that. Just you know what? I get to edit this one, so I'll make sure it's up there.
Here's the thing. Harris County is terrible. Travis County also terrible.
Yeah.
And like I said, just that whole little section, right? Just carve it out, flat it out. That's not a big deal. But you're right. Travis County you should have known better,
yeah.
right? ADA compliance, that's like Democrat 101.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, fact, that's your policies.
Yeah.
That is your policies.
And that's the one least objectionable. So out of the sort of equity arguments, the least objectionable of the equity arguments is the disabilities stuff. So come on, man. Get back to it.
You gotta do the Joe Biden.
Oh, come on, man. No, that's wrong. It's right? Oh my gosh.
And so, it's ridiculous. And so hopefully they'll be able to fix it. That's probably another amount of money that taxpayers have to pay. But it's from that county, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Bankrupt it for all I care. I don't care.
Yeah, well.
Oh no.
No. You don't want to bankrupt it because you bankrupt a county that size, or you bankrupt those two counties that much population.
No. I was just talking about Travis.
You're gonna hurt Texas if you do that.
Yeah.
Speaking of hurting people in Texas, or actually, this would be helping people in Texas. Supreme Court basically further solidified this particular bill that
SB 8.
Yeah, SB 8. And what's the governor that signed in SB 8? Right?
That would be
Mr.
Abbott?
That would be Mr. Greg Abbott. Yes. Yeah. And let me ask a question. Did he pull off this legislation before or after Ron DeSantis signed likewise legislation in his state?
I do not recall.
I believe it was before. I believe we were first on that particular train. So
I do not recall.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't. Right. It's a very Clinton-esque answer of you. The reality here is that...
It depends on what the definition of is.
That was the wrong Clinton that I'm thinking. I'm thinking of a different Clinton.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Yeah. What happened to your email server? I don't recall.
I don't recall.
Here's the
Smart
thing.
answer, by the way.
So Greg Abbott signed into law SB 8.
Let's just... okay, what is that?
SB 8 is a law that basically prevents abortions. Right? I'm sorry. I'm getting it confused. No. I'm getting it confused with another bill. Yeah. But it prevents abortions up to 6 weeks.
It's actually heartbeat, which could be 6 weeks.
Which could be 6 weeks, right? So it effectively outlaws abortion in Texas.
In a way.
Now, full disclosure, there are plenty of people that know that they're pregnant before 6 weeks. It's just due to different circumstances. Right?
Correct.
My wife and I had a situation like that where we knew we were pregnant far earlier than 6 weeks. I do. Yes, I do. Okay. And so that does happen, but it's not terribly common. And so effectively what you're doing is you're putting abortion clinics out of business because you don't have the supply, right? You don't have enough women that
I thought they were just for women's health, not just purely abortions.
And the creative part about this bill is the fact that it actually allows individuals to sue based on lack of compliance to this law, not the state.
Correct.
I'm getting that right?
You are correct.
Okay, cool. I just want to make, because I got this lawyer over here that's over here going, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
He had a lot of questions. I was like,
if you look at paragraph B subsection 259, it's whatever. The point here is that if you see somebody getting an abortion before 6 weeks, you, the individual, can sue the provider, right? It's not the woman that's receiving the abortion, it's the provider.
Right.
But if you know that she's going to receive, or if you know that that's
sue the doctor.
You can sue the doctor.
Yes. Also, side note, that little voice you did earlier, I've told you, stop impersonating my wife. It's not nice.
You know what? I'm sorry. Your wife's a lovely individual, right?
Yeah, she is.
Isn't she from Houston?
No.
Oh, I wouldn't say that about her. Here's the thing. This law was taken to the Supreme Court. It was challenged by the Supreme Court. It was challenged in the Supreme Court of Texas, and the Supreme Court of Texas basically said, listen, y'all got nothing.
Right. Okay. As we all know, it went to the actual Supreme Court. They deemed it as like, well, we're not going to stop the whole process because you have yet to prove that the state is enforcing it. Boom, go back down, figure that part out. So it crept up our courts.
What case were they bringing that state was enforcing it, though?
By passing the law, you effectively are the state passing it. That was the argument, and to me, it's not an unfair argument to make. But it lost 5-4.
Yep.
And then it went to our Supreme Court in Texas eventually. And our Supreme Court says you have to drop off all the executives on these certain governmental entities because that's how you usually sue something. Usually if you're suing the government, you have to name the person who's the head of that, whatever section it is.
Yeah.
So they have to drop all those off because the state itself, as they decided again, is not enforcing it, is done by individuals. According to the text, it says individuals. You can say, well, that's not how it plays out, but that's not what's written.
Yeah.
So you can't say it will. It will by what? You have nothing to prove that besides your own conjectures. They threw it down. Now, the groups that are backing this up.
What you're missing, James, is that the left usually lives off of conjecture.
No. They have nothing but emotions. And
most of their emotional appeals are based on conjecture.
Yeah, it's just stuff that doesn't
exist. I'm being really spicy today. Yeah, I should calm down. Nick, calm down. You're a good person.
Eat those Takis. That's what happened.
That's what it is.
Anyways, now it's a constitutional question because it's now been decided the state is not enforcing it. Well, can the state even allow this thing to happen? Because basically it does go around Roe v. Wade because the state cannot do anything pre-viability. That's according to Roe v. Wade and Casey v. Anthony. No, Casey Anthony. Casey v. Planned Parenthood. Casey Anthony is a whole other case.
Yeah.
But Casey v. Planned Parenthood. Well, basically the gist is pre-viability. We've kind of gone over this before. But pre-viability, you can't really make any kind of laws against it. If you want to do it, you can do it. And there's usually a 20-week kind of limit or something. Well, this one obviously can be up to 6. They always say 6, but that's not the case. It's heartbeat, which can be various things. It could be as early as 6. That's why they use 6, because they want it to be like, she'll never know about it. But since you're now going back to the whole case, it's constitutionality. Can you do this under a constitution? State courts don't decide that matter. Now we're back in the Fifth Circuit. Start all over again. So it might make its way up to the Supreme Court. However, as we noted, the Dodd case, which is the Mississippi state case with 15 weeks, that is going to be decided or at least ruled upon likely this summer. As I've said, the Supreme Court Chief Justice will likely not have a real actual thing to minimize Roe v. Wade. They'll probably do a little special carve out, so it has a chance to go in there. However, if I get completely wronged on this one, which I highly doubt because the Chief Justice is not a conservative justice.
Come on, he was appointed by Bush. That makes him conservative, right? He was appointed by a conservative president.
Yeah,
wasn't Stephen Breyer also?
No, that was Dem.
It was okay. No, it was Sandra Day O'Connor. Sandra Day O'Connor was appointed by
HW.
Yeah, she was appointed by HW. That didn't go.
Did KCV Planned Parenthood happen in her tenure? Yes, it freaking did.
It did.
Oh, shocker. Anyways, by the way, first woman. Yeah, conservatives don't get credit for that because why would they? But she was the first woman.
No, that was Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Nope,
James.
that was later.
You're misinformed.
That was later with old
You're
Clinton.
misinformed. But did she wear the lacy thing on her judge robe?
No.
Yeah, well, Ruth Bader Ginsburg did.
Yeah, well, she's dead. Anyways.
So is Sandra Day O'Connor.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyways, it has to, like I said, it has to start all over back in the Fifth Circuit.
Okay.
This group that's doing this is a buku of money. Because I don't know if you know this. Litigation costs a lot of money. Especially something that's getting appealed and going to a federal court. You probably have someone like George Soros paying this and just saying, don't worry, I got it, we'll float it, keep going, and see what happens. So, until something happens, and of course the article that I'll put to you, it's totally trash in the Fifth Circuit. It's the most conservative court. It's like, okay, yeah, go to the Ninth. All right, it's the most liberal, so too bad. Guess what? Texas is in the Fifth, so you have to go to the Fifth. I know you'd rather go to the Ninth, but too bad, you can't.
Yep.
So that's the whole gist of what Supreme Court has decided. You haven't seen a lot of reports on it because unless you're seeing just raw mad, because I can't believe we're still having to live under the Handmaid's Tale. It's not the Handmaid's Tale. One, it's a fictional story, so stop.
And two, that fictional story is bogus. So do you know the premise of the Handmaid's Tale?
I've heard the gist. Okay. It's not.
Why am I? You were always making me read and watch the cruddy stuff.
You choose to,
so that I can deliver it. So
you choose to harm yourself.
The Handmaid's Tale is based in a dystopian future where only certain women are able to get pregnant, and so those women are immediately captured by the state and like forced to have sexual relations with people so that they can procreate. That is not how that would work. If there were only a few women left in the world that were capable of having babies, those women become instant millionaires. That being said, it's because we live in a capitalist society, not in a socialist society. Yeah. See, socialist society, that produces the Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
well, that was a tangent. I'm sorry.
Well, it's just ridiculous because I've seen also reports of I think Louisiana and New Mexico. Louisiana is where I saw it in like a women's clinic, abortion clinic in Shreveport has gone up over 800% for Texans. Yeah. That used to have like around, I think it was in the teens. I forget the actual number, but it was like in the teens of like Texas clients. Now it's over 63%. It's like, we're having to tell them to wait a month. It's like, okay, why do they care?
Yeah.
Why do they care? Oh, I have to wait an extra month? It's like, yeah, you already didn't care for the baby. Just start drinking. It doesn't, like, whatever. Exactly. If you're already that callous and I just want to kill it, well, then just help yourself out.
By the way, you shouldn't drink while
you should not. It's terrible.
I'm saying if you already don't care. James is not telling you to do that.
If you already don't care, what's another month?
Why does it matter? Yeah. I mean, this is one of those situations where you have the nuts and bolts of what's going on here, right? And you have the technicality, but it's sort of overridden. There's more weight to the actual moral atrocity that's going on here that abortion is. Right?
Yeah.
And so you have to yes, it's a technical kind of back and forth about the law. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about here is whether or not we get to kill babies in the state of Texas.
Yeah, you want to see abortion? You've already like watered it down. It's like no. Say what you mean. Kill babies.
Yeah.
There's a reason you say abortion, and there's a reason you say women's care now because you're watering it down.
It's maternal care.
Maternal care.
Maternal care, as per Joe Biden at the State of the Union. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the state of our Supreme Court situation. Really hoping that doesn't go any further. Really hoping that the Fifth Circuit just says, yeah, go pound sand.
Well, they say go pound sand. They're going to appeal it, and then I mean, has a chance of getting to Supreme Court. However, if you recall from many episodes ago, Supreme Court does not have to take your case.
Yeah.
You can say, hey, I wrote a writ of certiorari. Please hear, it's basically an application. Please hear our case. Mm-hmm. No.
Supreme Court
you can't do that. Literally, we can.
I don't see the Supreme Court taking this.
No, they won't touch this after they touch Dobbs. No.
Yeah. I don't see them messing around with this. That being said, not only do we have a problem with killing kids, we also have a problem with transing the kids that we're currently solving in the state of Texas as well. Texas Children's is a pediatric hospital in the state of Texas, and they, they're saying that it's because of certain legislation, but they have taken away their gender reassignment program or
genetics.
Genesis. It's called Genicus. Genicus is what it is, and they are shutting it down because they're.
They're afraid of the litigation.
Yeah, they're afraid of litigation, and
as they should be.
And Texas hasn't. I mean, I'm unaware of any
medical hospital.
Yeah.
No.
Well, apart from the fact that that's an unbelievable violation of the Hippocratic Oath. I'm unaware.
They feel that way. Okay.
I'm unaware.
I felt like I was Batman. All right. Yeah. I am, but still, it's different for regular people.
I'm unaware of any law in the state of Texas that specifically prohibits transing the kids. I know we've done the abortion bill. We did SB 8, but I think that Ron DeSantis is the one that's getting out in front of the transing the kids situation. That's more of a Florida situation. Hey, there's tit for tat, right? Abbott does something, DeSantis does something. I'm not saying DeSantis is bad. DeSantis is probably a guy in 2024.
It all depends on what Orange Man decides.
Yeah. The reality, though, is that, Ron DeSantis is a great governor. Any state would be lucky to have him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that all this hate of Greg Abbott for not being Ron DeSantis is a bit overwrought. But I'm not aware of any specific...
Freedom to be wrong, Nick.
I'm not aware of any specific legislation that has to do with children transitioning in the state of Texas. So are they just doing this because they're afraid that there might be?
Yes, because of the opinion we talked about last week with... Ken Paxton and Greg Abbott saying it's child abuse. Mm-hmm. They're basically getting rid of it. They also were starting to get rid of it last year in 2021. So this is actually prior to them even talking about it. There's like, something's kind of happening and we don't want to be on the other end of this. This is already going to cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Weird note. The article I sent you about it, it just kept saying like what was it? Genicus.
Genicus.
It was
Genicis.
Yeah, I kept reading that one. Then I had like another link to another one about like it's kept saying this program has been exist for years, and I was like, oh my gosh, just tell me the freaking year it originated. I finally got to a link on the thing's page and said like we've been existing since 2014. So, dude, 2014,
8 years.
Come on, get out of here! Like, what? Well, what did we do beforehand? You told them to grow up, and we're not going to do that.
T-shirts older than the Genicus program. Yeah. No, you told the kids, hey, you'll probably grow out of this. You know what? That most of them do.
Here's a counselor to talk. It's like we said last time. Hey, maybe talk through why you feel this way.
There are states. What is it? There are. I forget. I think it might have been California. It was either California or New York. That's basically making it illegal, or maybe this was Canada. I think
you're talking about the Canada rule.
Yes, the Canada rule, where they say that they basically make it illegal.
Definitely not a real country.
For a counselor to affirm anything to
disagree.
To disagree with any assessment that a child makes, aside from them being straight.
I'm a girl. Yeah, you're a girl with a beard and definitely baritone voice. Yeah, you're a girl.
In Canada, right, which is worse than California. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that I'd say because there's some great parts of Canada.
Even real?
Oh, it's real only because we allow it.
Fair.
Canada is basically saying, if you don't, if someone says, if a kid comes in and says, I'm feeling like I might like the color pink, they can say, well, you're probably a girl. But if a kid says, I think I'm a girl, they can't say, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Right. Or same thing with insert gay trope here, I guess. Right. You say I'm gay. No, whatever.
I've read a little bit about this. To me, it's Canada. I don't care. I hope you get smart, move away from Canada, move down to Texas, where you have freedom.
I think we should annex New York into Canada. I think we should let Canada buy New York, and then I think we should let Canada buy Washington, Oregon, and California. I'd be totally fine with them.
I don't know, those parts of Oregon, they're pretty nice, and they're actually pretty red.
They're really beautiful. There's beautiful parts of Canada, though. Doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
It has that smell of socialism, though. It
does.
What is that? It's not terrible, but you can definitely smell it. It has no chance of being great. Oh, that's socialism.
It stinks of Trudeau. Yeah. Anyway, definitely not transing the kids here in Texas, or at least we're fighting back against that.
Good.
Very happy about that. Good on you, good on you, Governor Greg Abbott. I just said Gregoner Abbott.
Gregoner Abbott. You can make that Gregoner.
Yeah, the Gregoner.
Good job, third term. After a third term, you get to, whatever you want to be called, man. It's all good.
The Gregoner, fighting back against President They. Also fighting back against fentanyl as well. So I don't know if you heard this, but Abbott is going to try and make fentanyl basically akin to homicide, selling fentanyl akin to homicide.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, the basis is it's not a typical drug. It's one that you could die within one hit of it, and also it's been now figured out that it's laced in a lot of other things that people don't know until they ingest it. And it's like, oh, well, it's too late now because it's in you. There's no liquid charcoal that we can do to unless you get it right absolutely at the moment.
Yeah.
I kind of have a problem with this though.
Why?
Because the basis that Greg Abbott gives, at least for the whole spiel about it, is like it's killed this individual, a Longhorn linebacker, and then this other person is like, okay, two people, and he says like, well, the CDC said the most killing thing of last year was fentanyl overdose between 18 and 45. I was like, okay, but what about in Texas? You're telling me the national, but what about in Texas? And I get it. If we stop the border, there'd actually be a whole lot less fentanyl. Yeah. But to me, it kind of seems like the Democratic way of like, hey, we have this kind of hot button issue, and a few notable people got affected, therefore we can make a law about it.
You can make laws about notable people. They do it all the time, right? You do it all the time.
I don't like it.
Let me tell you this.
It's a lot of funding for a few people.
You like to think legally. I like to think politically, and I can tell you right now, I know the political reason why Greg Abbott is doing this.
Greg Abbott running for governor.
Well, yes, but why? How does this help him in his run for governor? Right. This is actually a message. It's a message that he's putting out about one specific case. Do you know what case that is?
Tell me, enlighten me.
That would be George Floyd.
Oh.
He's basically, if he comes out and makes a big deal about fentanyl, right, then it's sort of a wink, wink, nod, nod backing of those who believe that the George Floyd case was wrongly decided. Because George Floyd had tons of fentanyl in his system the guy in the car next to him was the one who sold it to him. For sure, right? And
which they didn't interview about or didn't put on the stand. Wonder why.
I forget the officer's name, the guy that went to jail.
Chauvin,
yeah. Right. And so basically by saying, hey, fentanyl's a really dangerous drug, you're kind of giving a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to those people that believe that Chauvin did nothing wrong. I think he did, but I think that's what he's going for. The law is more of a statement about the way Greg Abbott feels about a hot button issue without having to come out and outright say the controversial thing.
Okay, I still think
it's
silly.
what he's doing.
But you still have to wait.
I think is what he's doing.
You gotta wait till the next session. Anyways,
you know what?
I believe.
This whole libertarian argument about let's just legalize all drugs. Part of me says, part of me kind of sees the appeal of just let's legalize everything, and let the problem sort itself out.
No.
In a couple of years, we won't have any drug users.
No.
But I will tell you this, as somebody who's seen not just the individual but the societal effects of what drugs do, it really causes a big problem. And again, you have to think. You can't think individually, right? When it comes to drugs, you have to think from a societal perspective, because the reality is that
society cool with me smoking this.
Well, no. What I'm thinking.
Society is judgmental.
What I'm thinking. It's not about society's judgment. It's about the way human beings behave in groups, right? Because the fact is that if something is legal, you get more of that, and the more behavior kind of increases exponentially, right? So the more people within your social group that do engage in a certain activity, the more likely you are to do that, right? So if you legalize something, you get more people at baseline that are doing that activity, and then you see more and more people. It sort of expands because of the way social dynamics work. And when that happens, you have people are always going to want to break the law, right? So the next thing is it's what I call the next man up the next man up philosophy,
okay,
right? Which is I legalize this, right? I legalize cigarettes, I legalize tobacco. What's the new sort of edgy thing to do, right? What's the new frontier on illegal drugs? It's marijuana, right? I legalize marijuana, and by the way, I've lived in countries where marijuana is fully decriminalized. You legalize marijuana, okay? Most people, so marijuana becomes the new cigarette. Some people do it, some people don't, but nobody really cares. So what's the new marijuana? What's the new edgy illegal thing to do? It becomes cocaine, right? What happens after that, right? It's just sort of once one thing's legal, there's always going to be people that have a propensity for illegal activity. So once you make one thing legal, the next question is, okay, so what's that next illegal thing that all these people who would have been doing this drug, they're not going to go to this one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think that it's best to tamp down drugs as much as possible on a societal level.
I just rather America or Texas especially, like, you got to have a standard. I'm actually fine with marijuana because it doesn't really trip up your mind as the like. I mean, you can put you on a bad light or bad or good depending on how you look at it, high, but it won't make it as you won't fiend for it as much as say like a cocaine or a crack. You can. There's obviously certain people that it just takes hold of them, whatever, but it's not like the synthetic drugs.
Yeah.
And the synthetic drugs are what actually don't, like, people say, well, if they want to, they can't. Well, at that point, you're not wanting to.
Yeah.
You're a slave to it. You're about the same kind of like someone who's really addicted to cigarettes. Yeah. And except for your cigarette is way more than slightly killing you. It definitely has a chance of making you OD, and then boom, you're in the hospital. And there's like constant people who are addicts that have been in the hospital a few times, like, oh yeah, OD'd the last time, but you know, I know my limit now. No, you don't. You don't know what the heck you got.
As evidenced,
you don't go to the store and it's like, okay, this was inspected by the FDA. This is good stuff. No, it wasn't. This is made in Rico's garage.
Yeah.
And guess what? He has a little bit of the jitters, and he's spraying a little too much.
But in Austin, did you know that we currently have a place where you can go and shoot up fentanyl as much as you want, and they'll give you clean needles.
Exchange needles? Yeah,
they have a needle exchange in Austin, in Texas.
I'll give you a link to their place.
Buddy.
Yeah,
buddy.
in Austin.
Listen.
Shocked.
I understand that it'd be hard to carve out all of Harris County and all of Travis County, but we can at least carve out that building and ship it out of here. Good gravy,
I'm
man.
with you.
You talk about a societal blight. That's insane.
That's just disgusting.
So,
like, if you have that money, give them methadone.
Yeah.
Get them off the drug.
So on the process of marijuana, the reason why I'm pro like keeping marijuana where it is, right? The pro criminalization of marijuana is because of that next man up fallacy, right?
Okay.
I know that people that aren't going to obey the law are going to do marijuana, and you know what? That's what I want those people doing. Right.
Fair.
If that's
going to be your edge, I'd rather
if that's
going to
be if that's going to be your edge, I'd rather that be your edge.
I disagree, but at least I can follow your logic.
So that's where I want. I want to keep it right there. I think we're good. Just keep criminalizing marijuana. We'll be good.
All right, boomer.
But friends, I need you to know something. Fentanyl is murder. So is abortion. And the stars at night are big and bright. We'll see you next week.